Hey YouTube, how's it going? I'm back and I'm taking another look at a 6-scale action figure today. Today we're going to be looking at the Virtual Toys Wolf of Ashina Deluxe Edition, or the 6-scale third-party Sekiro action figure. Now, I got this guy in a trade, and I traded some good stuff for it. Let me set up my camera down here real quick. And I really didn't know how great this is going to be. I've had offerings from VTS before. By the way, Virtual Toys, VTS Toys, pretty sure they're the same exact company, so I'm going to use those two terms interchangeably. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments below. But, you know, I've had their Sin City figure that they did, their Mad Max, a couple of other ones, and so I know that their quality isn't like Hot Toys or anything, or thought so, but, you know, this looked great, so I was willing to take a gamble, and holy cow, I'm blown away with this entire figure. First of all, it's a full DX experience unboxing this guy, let me tell you. He comes with a ton of stuff that I didn't even think it came with. We're going to hop into that first, I think, just all the accessories, but the quality is absolutely there. Really, it's only lacking in a couple of spots, and that's when I compare it to the best 6-scale figures in the industry, like the Coup Model Samurai, and builds like that. But this thing, I think it looks even better than the prototypes that I was drooling over while I was waiting for this guy to come in. So I'm going to go ahead and hop into it. First of all, the slew of accessories. Let's get the boring stuff out of the way first. We have extra hands. No kidding. So he has this slightly more relaxed ninja hand. We have a fisted, you know, Robo Ninja hand. That's great. And a praying hand to pray at that idol that he comes with. On him, we have his two gripping hands. So this one's more of an outward gripping hand, and this one's with the classic thumb out to click the blade open hand. He comes with this more standard gripping hand also, which is more vertical as opposed to being tilted outwards, and a right praying hand, or karate chop hand if that's what you want to do. But in Sekiro, you're not going to karate chop anything and win, because it's a really hard game. I just started playing it, actually. I downloaded it while I was anticipating this figure coming in. So it's my first real Soulsborne-like game. My gosh, I'm having a great time with it. Absolutely loving this game. What a fun experience. So I'm even more hyped to get this figure in after that. Now let's hop into accessories. So he has this big spear. I think it's called the Horn of something or another. I forget. I haven't actually unlocked this in the game. But it looks good. Here it is. There we go. He has this awesome axe, which I did just unlock yesterday. And here's the cool part about this figure, is that there's stuff going on here. Whoa, camera. Okay. So there's stuff going on here that I wasn't even aware of in the game. So with this axe, for instance, it folds. Oh, popped the whole darn thing off. Darn it. But as you can see, it comes out and then back in. It slides for him to use it and get more momentum on that swing. So what a nifty little thing there. And this just clips also right onto his wrist there. I currently have the shuriken equipped, but it snaps in firmly, very securely. I did feel like I was maybe at risk of breaking those little clasp right there, but nothing really. When I popped it on there, it was secure. It felt great. So he has that axe, and he also has the spear, but all folded up so that you could pop it onto his wrist, if that is how you want to display him. I've honestly been using the shuriken with the speed dash and the axe the most right now in my current playthrough. So I know that's probably what I'm going to keep on him. Oh, but we are not done with accessories quite yet. I didn't know he even came with this, but he has a Homeward Idol, which, what a useful accessory in the game if you need to get out of trouble. Just zipline up, pray to the idol, and you're transported back to a statue. So, great accessory. I'm glad he comes with that. He comes with his samurai sword there. I believe this is an odachi. That's what they call it in the game, at least. So, he comes with his odachi. He has the mortal blade, which I've slung onto his back as it was pictured. Mortal blade looks great. Here's where I have my first gripe with the figure. Here, I'm going to take that mortal blade out. It doesn't look like it was really put on straight, does it? So if I hold it here, I feel like this should be tilted upwards more. It wasn't really affixed well to the handle, but it looks fine when it's in its hilt. That's where it's going to stay most of the time. So I'm not too bugged by it. It's just a cool accessory to have anyways. So slide that mortal blade right back onto his back. Get Sekiro back into the display. And there. Hope the lighting is alright. He comes with his gourd, his healing gourd, which is another essential accessory. I just have that looped through onto his belt so that I can have him holding it all the time. And he comes with a zipline. This can also clip right into his wrist. I also just have that wrapped around his belt right now. What a swell accessory. He doesn't come wearing any of this, including his belt. So, you know, that's all stuff that you just got to kit him out with. Tie it together really tight, and then put the accessories on him as you will. So, as you can see, I just kind of tied that orange belt around him, slid that sword in, and then we wove it through the accessories that I wanted to put on his belt. I am happy to say that for his main odachi, the one he gets from the Divine Air, I think, there is nothing really wrong with how it was placed in there or shaped. In fact, I'm just going to show that off real quick. A tiny bit nitpicky, but let's compare these two just so that you can see more what I'm talking about. There. You see how those two are fitted in there? And how they are different in how they're coming out of the blade? So this one's, it looks like the tang is a part of the blade going all the way in there, and this one is crooked. Okay. I'm over it now. Great accessories. He comes with a lot of them. Oh, and a couple of extra wrist pegs, but who cares? I don't really worry about that. He does not come with an extra wrist peg for his robo hand. So do not break this one if you are a serial wrist peg breaker. Do be careful, because that is the only one that you get. And here on the other side, the accessory I have plugged in there now are his shuriken. So, great. I'm going to set him off to the side before I hop into talking about the figure, so that I could talk about this marvelous display base. So, let's get going. Here we go. The deluxe version comes with this awesome stand. It's got all this little stuff you can plug in, including that creepy dead tree in the background. Yikes, how spooky. And then the sculptor's idol, this demon Buddha thing. In fact, you can slide this part of the base off, and now we can get a better look at it. This thing is awesome. Super essential to the game. It's made with some great materials. It is also all magnetic, so these things, they plug in there really nicely with a little magnet click. Little magnet click. So it's super secure. Nothing really to worry about. And then it is magnetized, I think. Maybe it's just heavy, I don't know, to the base there. So, slide that on. It's really not tough to figure out where it goes. There are slight indents everywhere, so you can really get a feel for how to plug this in. The tree also is magnetized into a little slot in the back of the base there. And the fire, the blue flame there, just kind of sits on its hands like so. And it looks wonderful. Just wonderful. What an awesome piece. What an awesome display stand. And it really just sucks you right back into the game. It's like a scene out of it. And I think this is actually based on a particular spot in the game. I'm not sure exactly which one, but how cool. Really awesome to have all that stuff. Now let's talk about the figure proper. Let's get Sekiro all set up here. In fact, one moment. I'm going to take the display base out so that we have a bit more room in my tiny little light box to talk about just the figure itself. So I'm going to do this hopefully without mangling everything. There we go. Take it out there. Take out the sculptor's idol. One last view of it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. There. Okay. And we are going to pop Sekiro in there. So, as stated, he doesn't come wearing his belt. I don't think that rope either. Or his scarf. So I just kind of, luckily all those years of karate as a youth paid off. So I just kind of tied his belt up like I would in karate to slide that sword in there. I did the scarf the same way to try to keep those tassels down and matted around there. The scarf is nice. It feels like it's coated a little tiny bit in some sort of waxy substance. So if I want it to cover his face, I can pop that up there and boom, now the shinobi is hiding his identity, which is a nice touch, or I can just push it underneath the chin and have it look right there. I'm not sure exactly how he wore the scarf in the game. It's kind of hard to pay attention to your character and the design of him exactly when you're running through, trying not to get slaughtered. So, let's turn him around. Here's a couple of areas where I thought this production piece actually turned out so much better than the prototype. And a big part is how the cuts are. If you look at the prototypes, these look really machine cut, like triangles. Yeah, it looks like a cheap Halloween costume. But this is really good slicing. It's all very natural. It looks like it was ripped here. I'm going to go in for a close-up. Get my focus right on there. Come on out there. Look at how natural that tearing looks. That is great. Great stuff. And all the way down to the fraying at the bottom with the weathering, that dirt. That looks great. That looks so good. Yeah, these guys just killed that aspect of the figure. Let's go in real close on the head sculpt here. There we go. So only upon this really close-up scrutiny on this side, with some of that white paint thrown on there, you can see a little tiny bit of the seam going vertically on the head. It really doesn't bug me too much. As for how accurate this sculpt is to the in-game model, some of the details are there, and that's great, like the scar. Turn that around. However, you really do spend most of the game looking at Sekiro from this angle. So, from this angle, can't say I got much problems with the sculpting. This is how I look at Sekiro the most. He's got that top knot there. Looks great. As for the front of the face, I'm not too concerned with what I'm getting. I know some people were saying that the prototype looked wretched, or not really at all accurate, but I'm not bugged out by this guy at all. It looks fine to me. He's got quite the chin on him, but whatever. As stated, I don't spend a whole lot of time looking at Sekiro from the front. Now, let's look at that Robo Arm. It's a very important part of the character, and that turned out... Come on, get a focus on there. There we go. That turned out great all of this real twine going through and wrapping it around the under parts of his samurai armor. There's that chainmail looking stuff, which, you know, it's not, the chainmail is fine. It's not real metal. It's just this little mesh material, but it is woven through nice enough to give the effect that we're going for in 6 scale. Scroll down here. This is the only part where it's sculpted and not real twine wrapped around to make it look good, so that does kind of stick out. Doesn't bother me too much. Oh, I guess that actually continues on the hand, so that's not real string either. That's sculpted. And it only sticks out because it is the same color as the bone underneath, but oh well. That's intricate. It doesn't hinder articulation at all because this nice piece here is on a swivel, so I can bend that arm up as much as I want and bend it back down, and it just gets out of the way of itself, which I do really like. So that detailed chainmail outfit is continued throughout the entire undersuit of the figure. Looks good. Going over here, I do believe, yes, if I feel it, this under samurai armor part is continued underneath this cloth here. More of that chainmail mesh coming into the hand guard. Those strings tightly wrapped around it into the hand. And the hand fits through very securely on the armor, just like it does on most samurai figures that have similar hand sculpts. Slides through the thumb and slides around the fingers. And that looks, well, very functional. Getting down to the legs, he has those poofy samurai pants with all the details you could want. Great weathering going through. Just notice that there's a wire right there. So you can absolutely, look like he was just hit with a big gust of wind. That is a nice thick wire too. I can feel it. That's gonna pose just great. Much better than those thin tinsel wires that really can't do diddly on a figure. Then his shin armor wrapped around here and some sculpted plastic feet. Paint looks great everywhere. Figure is fully functional and a very detailed outfit, and I like it a lot. So I love a good detailed outfit on display, something to really sink your eyes into and think, wow, that's some good craftsmanship. And Virtual Toys has nailed that. Really, really good. So now let's get into articulation. So the head is on a double ball on top of the neck. Get all the rotation. Looks up great. Looks down just fine. So again, that look up, he's fighting an ogre. He's going to be like that. Plenty of attitude with a tilt because the neck is a separate piece to the head, and you can cover up any sort of ugliness from a seam line there. With that scarf, I don't really have a preference if I like the neck sculpted into the head or the separate neck piece. It just kind of comes down to a figure-by-figure basis. So that's great. Because he's not wearing bulky samurai armor, he is a shinobi in the game. You get plenty of ab crunch there from your standard ab joint. Twist, it's all there. Legs, completely unhindered. So that's a full 90 degrees from the torso. Great double jointed bend in the leg. Do they go back at all? They go back a little bit, but they're hindered by the sculpt of the butt, as is common in 6 scale figures. And a rotation up there at the top. The foot joint, huge range of motion. Nothing really going to get in the way of that. So when I said it's fully functional, it is fully functional. This guy can pose with the best of them. Shoulders, butterfly joint, go up, out, full range of motion. Double jointed elbows also, which I think is a must for a figure that is going to be posed around this much. Or, you know, Sekiro, he's doing some crazy stuff in the game. So you want a full range of motion everywhere. Swivel, wrist, pretty unhindered, even with that samurai armor on your standard wrist joints. So that is going to be that. So this is the 6 scale VTS or Virtual Toys Wolf of Ashina Deluxe version. My gosh, what a figure. Awesome piece. I know the Deluxe version is quite a bit spendier than the regular edition. However, you get such a massive slew of accessories and just a great display base. So it might come down to room, but if you have the room to fit that full display in your collection there, then I do strongly suggest that you go with the Deluxe edition on this one, if you can afford it. I don't know why, possibly because of the pandemic situation, but this guy hasn't really... Some people got it a little while ago, some people are just getting it, and some people still have no idea when they're going to get it. So it's shipping out now, but it's going very, very slowly. So depending on your retailer, you have it or it's on its way, or you're stuck in limbo wondering when the heck it's going to get here. I can say completely though, whenever you do get it, you will not at all be disappointed. This is an awesome, awesome figure. I think the only thing that I could have wanted more from it is if the Deluxe edition also came with the standard edition base, because the standard edition display base looked really cool just the same. It was a crotch grabber with a wooden floor, and even if I didn't use it in conjunction with Sekiro here, I would have definitely used that with another figure. So pop that hand off, maybe get him in a quick pose here. There, it's easier to pop that on without worrying about that. There. Move that down a bit. That is a stiff wrist joint, but it is good. I'm not worried about anything slipping around. Get him here. One leg forward there. There. Quick little pose for Sekiro. Awesome figure. Now I'm going to go back and reassemble this entire display base in my display case. Get the figure all posed up there, and he is going to look awesome in whatever shelf I decide to put him in. He may go next to my Ku model samurai for a bit, then he may hop into my video game display. Not really sure yet, but it's a cool figure, and he will do my display a service regardless of which one he's in. So that's going to wrap up this review, guys. If I left anything unanswered about this figure, go ahead and let me know in the comments, and I will hop in there and talk to you about it. Otherwise, if you have this guy or have him coming, get at me. Let me know your thoughts. I'm super hype on this. I think it's great, and I hope you feel the same way when and if you get it into your collection. Otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed this review. Stay happy, stay healthy, and keep on collecting. Bye-bye.